There is a massive shortcut that you can take in this game if you're lucky, and it goes something like this.
Hi everyone.
What's happening, guys? Today I'm going to teach you how to play Sorry, a board game that's been around for many years, where the goal is to move all of your pawns to your home space while attempting to bump any of your opponent's pawns back to start, as shown in the illustration there, hence why the game is called Sorry. I have the grab and go version of this game, which is not that different compared to the normal version. So for contents, the game board has already been taken care of with two giant large stickers already adhered to this giant yellow plastic container, which of course will fold out like a game board. Along with that, you get the instruction manual, which is just one piece of paper, 16 pawns, 4 of each color, and 45 cards. This is what the game board looks like. So to set up the game, each player takes 4 pawns of the same color, then places them in the start space of that matching color. Once everyone has done that, you then take the stack or deck of cards, shuffle them all up, then place them in the draw pile shown right there. The youngest player goes first and play passes to the left. When it's your turn, you draw a card from the deck and follow what it says, then place that card face up on the discard pile right there. If you ever run out of cards to draw, reshuffle the discard pile and then place it face down in the draw pile area. Any numbered card can move a pawn out of its start space, but this move only counts as one space. Pawns move clockwise around the board unless a card tells them to do so otherwise. You may jump over your own or another player's pawn if it's in your way, counting it as one space. So take for example, if I drew this move ahead 5 card on my turn, then I can move this piece 1, 2, jump over this piece for 3, 4, and 5, land in my piece right there. But what if instead I drew a move ahead 3 card? If you land on a space that is already occupied by an opponent's pawn, you bump that pawn right off that space, take the space for yourself, and then that opponent's pawn is bumped right back to their start space. That right there is the main gimmick of Sorry. Only one of your pawns may occupy a space at a time, except for the start and home spaces. If the only possible move you got on your turn would land you on a space that's already occupied by one of your own pawns, then you forfeit your turn. At any time you can't move, you forfeit your turn. But if you can move, you have to, even if you're at a disadvantage. Let's talk about the slides. Here's one example of a slide that contains the colors yellow, green, and blue. If you land on a black triangle space at the start of a slide that contains your color, you slide your pawn at the circle at the end of that slide, and you bump any pawns that are in the slide back to their respective start spaces. This includes your own pawns. Now let's say that you're playing as red piece, and if you land on a black triangle space at a slide that does not contain your color, just stay put on the triangle, you don't slide. Only your pawns may enter a safety zone of the matching color. You can't enter an opponent's safety zone, and your opponent's pawns can't enter yours. When you reach the entry space on the track that leads to your own safety zone, you move your pawn to the arrow as shown. You cannot enter a safety zone with a backward move, but you can move backwards out of the safety zone. There is a massive shortcut that you can take in this game if you're lucky, and it goes something like this. If your pawn is near start as shown, and let's just say that you drew the move back 4 card. While you can't move backwards into the safety zone, you can move backwards along the normal track as shown. Then on your next turn, when you move forward, you can enter the safety zone without the need to move around the entire game board. Once one of your pawns makes it to the home space, that pawn stays at home for the rest of the game and cannot be used. You must bring your pawns to the home space by exact count. So here's an example here. I have a pawn that is 3 spaces away from home. So let's say if I drew this move ahead 5 card, that's too much. I have to forfeit my turn because that's higher than 3. So to do this in one fell swoop, I would have to draw a move ahead 3 card. But let's say if I drew a card that is less than 3, I can still move my pawn forward and inch my way closer to home, but I have to land on home with an exact number. The first player to get all 4 of their pawns to the home space wins the game. That is how you play Sorry. So let's finish this video off by showing what the cards do. Most of them are pretty basic, so here we go. Move ahead 1. Move ahead 2 and draw again. Move ahead 3. Move back 4. Move ahead 5. Move ahead 7, or split the move between 2 of your pawns. It is possible for you to use the split feature to allow 2 of your own pawns to move into the home space on the same turn. If you use the split feature to move 1 of your pawns to the home space, then you have to use the remaining balance of your move with another pawn of yours on the board, or you forfeit the rest of your turn. You cannot move backwards with a split, and you can't use part of the 7 to move out of start. Move ahead 8. Move ahead 10, or move back 1. Move ahead 11, or switch places with an opponent. You may forfeit your move if it's impossible to go forward 11 spaces. You may only switch pawns in play on the open track, not at start, home, or in the safety zone. If your switch landed you on a triangle at the beginning of a slide that has your color on it, then you slide your pawn to the end. Move ahead 12. Sorry, switch a pawn from your start with another player's pawn, which must return to its own start. If there is no pawn on your start space, or no opponent's pawn is on any space you can move to, you forfeit your turn. And that is it. Sorry, but this video is now over. Ha! Pun intended. Anyways, that's gonna do it. Thank you so much for watching, like and subscribe for more, and don't forget to check out my gaming channel, Markis P Gaming, for video game Let's Play content. I will see you later, but until then, like always, take care.